Phoenix Books presents
An Unfinished Marriage, read by the author Joan Anderson. Prologue. Never did I think when I ran away from home that a memoir, A Year by the Sea, would come from that experience, nor did I expect that thousands of women would write to tell me that my experience was their experience. I had taken a vacation from marriage, a sabbatical of sorts, during which I hoped to reclaim that raw material person I had left behind in my youth, before I started playing the roles our culture demands of women. It was a bold gesture not to follow my husband to his new job, suggesting instead that I spend some time at our Spartan Cape Cod cottage. Some women friends called me brave, others thought I was crazy, and the husbands of most disapproved heartily. But for once, I didn't take into account what others thought. I was working on pure gut reaction, determined to shake up my dull life. Words have a peculiar way of slipping out of my mouth before they are formed, and so when I announced my intention to my husband, I shocked us both. Even so, it wasn't until I was standing on the shoreline of my favorite beach that I began to realize the ramifications of my impulsive decision. I had altered my life, and was left holding freedom in one hand and guilt in the other. As resident nurturer of a family of 4, I had spent the past 30 years sustaining others while neglecting myself in the process. Now it was my turn to retreat, repair, and I hoped regenerate myself. Was I being selfish or smart? Fortunately, the feminist writer Adrienne Rich answered my question in her book of Woman Born, where she points out that primitive tribes send their women away to go down into herself, to introvert, in order to evoke her instincts and intuitions, strengths that these cultures value in women. Perhaps an inner voice was leading me, I thought. Perhaps living apart from people and daily agendas would allow me to reconnect to the internal strengths that once were mine. In any case, alone and temporarily independent, I would have no choice but to be both conscious and aware of what my new world would present. I was ebbing, like the tide as it turns itself around, not coming in nor going out. And as such, I was being made to follow the rules of the universe rather than those of the society. In a world of broad strokes and neon signs, we tend to forget that true learning comes from our own impulses. The secular age provides few tools for use to help us interpret the experience of life. It begins.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?